Muy buenas tardes a toda la comunidad de Clariperú y a todos nuestros amigos que se conectan de diferentes partes del mundo. Espero que hoy día se encuentren muy bien, sobre todo después de haber celebrado el Día Mundial del Clarinetista, que fue ayer 13 de agosto, y hemos sentido claramente con el equipo de Clariperú que ha sido el año donde más hemos celebrado en las redes sociales. Ha habido una respuesta muy masiva de muchísimos clarinetistas de diferentes edades y diferentes países, y eso nos hace sentir a todos muy felices. Hoy continuamos con el ciclo de entrevistas en vivo a los maestros que son parte del Coro Iberoamericano de Clarinetistas, este gran proyecto de Clariperú que busca unir a los 22 países que integran Iberoamérica a través de la música, específicamente a través del clarinete. Y hoy día va a ser una entrevista muy impulsiva, muy diferente, porque tengo dos invitados que hablan portugués. Así que vamos a intentar hablar entre portuñol e inglés, que seguramente muchos de los jóvenes que nos están viendo van a poder practicar también este idioma, que es el inglés. Y sin más que avisar y decir, permítanme, por favor, presentarles a Paula Pires y Marcus Lander de Brasil. How are you, Paula and Marcus?
Olá, todas e todos. Hi, Marcos. Hi, Marco. Thank you, Marco and Clariperu, for this invitation. I'm very excited about joining this project as a teacher. And I'm also very grateful for being here with you in this afternoon. It's always nice to talk about our clarinet lives to our clarinet friends, but I believe it's more important in these crazy times we are living. So thank you all.
Hi, Marcus. How are you?
Olá, boa tarde. Um prazer estar aqui. Estou muito honrado. I'm very honored to be here and sharing some thoughts and ideas with everybody. Obrigado.
Obrigado. So nice to have you both here virtually. We have shared so many concerts and also events live here in Peru, and we will talk about that later. What about if we start when you were younger? Because you both are very young, younger than me, definitely. But what if you share a little bit, how did you discover music in your life? Paula, do you remember still how you suddenly got aware that there is music?
So, I like this history. I like to tell this history. Eu gosto muito de contar essa história, porque, na verdade, foi uma grande coincidência. Actually, it was a coincidence, because at the beginning, I was not a child, I was already 15, when I decided to start to learn music at I would say, a marching band from my regular school. The truth is, I would like to use the facilities of the school in the afternoon for playing handball. But I had to decide for some activity, and then I started in the band. I was already 15. So, pouquinho em português, na verdade, eu entrei na banda da minha escola, era um tipo de banda marcial, quando eu tinha 15 anos, e eu entrei na banda porque eu queria jogar handball usando a quadra da escola durante a tarde. Só que para fazer isso eu precisava optar por alguma atividade, então eu entrei lá na banda da minha escola. At the beginning, the conductor said, "We are looking for clarinet players, so you are going to play clarinet." And I said, "Okay." So that was my beginning. There is no love history with the instrument, no love history with music. And I would say later, when I started to learn more about being a musician, about being an artist, then I felt in love with music. And it's the same till today. I like music. Of course, I like the clarinet, I like the sound and the possibilities, but I like more the music and the possibility of turn my sound into my voice when I'm playing. So that's my history.
very beautiful. And you were lucky that somebody asked you will have to learn clarinet, and you did. You were very, I mean, you didn't object. You said, okay. And thanks to that person, we have Paula playing beautiful clarinet. And Marcus, how was music in your life? Tell us, please, how did you discover it?
Okay, so I have an uncle. He plays the saxophone. He's a little bit older than me, like 9 years older than me. So when he was same age as Paula, 14, I was 5, and I saw him practicing the saxophone and going to the rehearsals of the band. It was a church band. And I found everything very boring. I hated it because he couldn't play with me and make jokes and everything because he needed to practice. So, okay. After a few years, he moved to another place. And when I was 8 to 9, I got one of the plastic flutes, that really cheap one. And I got one by myself. I learned like 1 or 2 songs. So my mom, she realized, okay, he has a good ear for music and this stuff. So she took me to this same church that my uncle used to play. And I started to learn music theory. And then by that age, I wanted to play the saxophone. I never heard about clarinet. So the point is, the music theory was pretty fast for me. I learned all the notes, all the subdivisions, the stuffs, faster than all the other students in the school. So after 2 or 3 months, I were ready to take an instrument. But the band, they had several instruments to give you to practice, but they didn't have any saxophone. So okay. I was 9 years old. My family were really poor, so we didn't have actually money to buy a saxophone. So they gave me a choice. They said, there's a clarinet in here, nobody wants, but you can pick that and start playing in the band, or you buy a saxophone, or if some saxophone player just give up, you can take the instrument. So I said, okay, better than nothing is take a clarinet and start playing, huh? So that's how I met the clarinet. And after all, I never wanted to change to the saxophone anymore. That's it.
That's a beautiful coincidence that both of you were like by accident just discovered the instrument. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
And you both mentioned bands. When you were younger, do you think there was a lot of music around you, like marching bands or orchestras or concertos you can attend? What do you think, Paula?
The martial bands, for example, are very, very common here in Brazil, especially in Minas Gerais, where I come from. So to tell the truth, I saw them somewhere, but I didn't have any connection with them. So it was really, really a coincidence. I was not used to go to watch concerts, and my family is really simple too. So they live it very, very far from the center of the city, and sometimes it's not easy. We as musicians, sometimes we have the feeling that, okay, we give lots of concerts, they are open, they are free, and everybody's allowed to come, but sometimes it doesn't go to the people who live really far from the center. So I had no idea about the musical life before I went to this musical school.
That's very interesting. And how was for you, Marcus? Was there a lot of music around you when you were younger?
Yeah, for me, it was always music were related with church. So every Sunday going to church, I could see the band. My first church, we had 5 choirs. So it's a children choir, teenagers, young people, then the ladies choir, and the choir actually in 4 voices and everything. So I could see at least 5 different types of mixing the voices plus the band. But it was only church for a lot of years. You know, I remember, I think the first concert I attend, I've been playing the clarinet for, let's say, 3 or 4 years already in the band. Then somebody told me, oh, there's a thing, it's called a concert, and then you can attend and people play. And I got a ride with somebody else's car and we watched it. And it was, as soloist of the concert was the saxophone. So they had like 3, 4 different saxophonists. They played some jazz stuff with orchestra, and I fell in love. Like, I need to do that. That's what my feeling after the concert was, like that. I need to go home and practice because I want to live doing this. Yeah.
And you both were involved with music, with the clarinet at this point. At what moment you decided to study officially and professionally the clarinet? Was this an easy decision for you, for your family? What will you say, Paula?
I would say it was not that easy. I decided, I had this I don't know, this click. Oh wow, that's what I want to do for my life. It was when I played for the first time in an orchestra. It was a young orchestra in this music school where I was studying. I was 16 and I played there, and I was, wow, it's so amazing because I am among my friends and we are playing together, and wow, I felt this energy, and then I decided that's what I want to do. So that was the moment. Of course, it's not easy to be a musician if you don't have financial support, because it's expensive to study music, to buy instruments, to buy reeds, all the things. So at the moment I said to my parents, okay, that's what I want to do. They said, oh, Paula, I don't want to disappoint you, but you know, maybe it's not for you because we cannot help you with that. So I had this moment. Of course, I did many things. I sold chocolate, sandwich. I did everything you can imagine. Of course, I worked hard. But I have to tell you one thing, which I think is very important. I worked hard, but it was possible only because I have support. I had scholarships. I had friends who helped me with small things. And that's what I like to say, because we talk a lot about, okay, so you worked a lot, you practice 8 hours a day, but it's not the only thing, because you have to have the opportunities. So I have lots of help from government, scholarships, and friends, and lot of things, many people. That's it.
And that's very important to tell and to share, because, as you say, sometimes we even would like to think like we did everything by ourselves. But the truth is that nobody works alone. And you're a very good example. And I appreciate that you mentioned that, Paula, that you were part of a bigger picture. And of course, you did work a lot. And Marcos, how about you? When was the moment when you decided to study music? Where did you go?
Well, I don't really think I decided up to now. It's just a consequence. The thing is, I started very, very young. So I played in the church. I was 9 years old. So I started playing with 9. Then I got like 10. And then I found out about another band that played more hard pieces. So I changed it to the other band. So I had more rehearsals. Then I got 11 and I joined the Escola Municipal de Música in São Paulo, which is a huge music school. And I had lessons with the principal clarinet of the OSESP, which is the Orquestra Sinfônica in São Paulo. So the top player from the city was my teacher, and I had 11 years. So, but in that first year, I didn't practice at all, man. I was a kid, 11 years. I want to play soccer in the street, you know what I mean? So he was very tough on me and said, you know, this is a free music school and I'm a very good teacher. if you're not willing to study, maybe you just give the space to another person. And then I took it like a challenge, Oh yeah, I'm gonna show that man that I can play this exercise faster than what he asked, and this
Great.
stuff. And then things started just to go, When I was 14, I was playing in a symphonic band that held concerts one time every month. And then university time, what you gonna do? I'm gonna do to the music, go to music school, because I'm playing concerts for 3 years now. And then things started to go just like that. And again, my family, my mother, man, she's incredible, because there's no musicians in the family. We were very, very poor people, and she keeps pushing, You go, you can do, you're gonna get this audition, and just go to the university. I do my best to support you here. And I was very, very lucky to have supportive teachers, supportive family, and also to be able to get some scholarships, some help from schools across the country, in America, in government stuff, festivals held by the government here. So yeah, it's a package, but you need to look for it. It doesn't jump in your pocket, You gotta dig for the stuff.
Fantastic,
And actually, I
fantastic.
never
The
decided.
attitude.
But I think I am a musician now, but I don't know.
Well, I think you're a great musician. We
Thank
all
you, man.
know that. Personally, I've heard you playing, and Paula too, and it's just amazing. Everyone here in Lima, para las personas que me están escuchando de Latinoamérica, Paula y Marcus llegaron ya en 2 ocasiones, sobre todo Marcus, a Lima para el Congreso Latinoamericano de Clarinetistas y para el taller de jóvenes clarinetistas, y ambos motivaron muchísimo a todos los cientos de clarinetistas que estábamos aquí en Lima. Paula, recuerdo mucho, en especial a mis alumnas, sentirse muy inspirada por ella, y Marcos también, cuando tocaba de solista, era algo realmente impresionante. And all these things, they can watch you both on YouTube. You're amazing musicians. Paula, I would like to ask you about your teachers, your first teachers. What have you really learned from them, apart from the scales and, the sound? But is there someone special between all your teachers, someone that gave you that extra push or inspiration?
Wow. It's a very important question for me, and my relationship with my teachers. I would say the first one who gave me lots of inspiration and showed me what is to be a professional musician was Yura de Rezende. It was still in Minas Gerais, and I studied with him for 1.5 years, and he was like, Paula, you have to go to São Paulo because there are many players there, and there are orchestras, and you have to learn from them too. And he was this person who helped me all the time. There was a situation which I really like, because at the very beginning, it was a month, January, and I had 2 invitations for music festivals. One in Poços de Caldas, and the other one was the FEMUSC. But I had a scholarship for both. But if you have to pay the ticket, it was the bus ticket. I didn't have money for paying the ticket because it was too expensive for me. And I said, Yura, maybe I have to decide for one, which one you think I have to choose. And he was like, how much you need for that? So I give you that. And he lent me this money. Of course, I pay it later. But he was like so nice because he helped me with everything. When I went to São Paulo, 1.5 years later, I didn't have an A clarinet, for example. And he gave me his A clarinet and said, you cannot play in an orchestra without a clarinet. So take this one. When you buy yours, you give me back. You give me back. So it was always like that. And then I went to São Paulo. It was a very special time for me. But I also have to talk about Ralph Manu. He was my teacher in Germany when I was doing my master's. And I think he was the most inspired artist I have ever met. He was amazing. And his ideas about being an artist, a musician, being honest with your music, with what you want to share about you when you are playing, it was really, really special for me, and it changed me. I would say that when I was in São Paulo, I was like working hard, studying 8 hours a day, don't feeling the sun, because I was like practicing like a crazy girl. And then when I arrived in Germany, I saw people staying in the sun, thinking about life. I had a colleague which once said, oh, I have to sleep a little bit after lunch because I have a lesson in this afternoon. And I was like, huh? Are you crazy? If you have a lesson, you have to practice like crazy, not sleep. And it was an important thing for me, which I learned during this time in Germany, how it's important to respect your body, your soul, because everything you show when you are playing comes out. You come out when you are playing. So that was the most important inspiration I got, I think.
And that is fantastic to think about these other sides that we have to develop as artists, not only performing very well, taking control of our instruments, but to think about life, to think about who we are. And I'm glad you're sharing that you discovered this in your journey, especially when you were abroad. And I will ask you later about your trip to Germany too. Marcus, is there something you would like to share about your teachers? Is someone that really touched you as the way of thinking about art, about music?
Yeah, I was very, very fortunate. So all of my teachers are like special persons for me. My first teacher, this principal guy from the Orquestra Sinfônica in São Paulo, was also my best man in my wedding. So the relationship became so close that we are very, very, we're like family, my father didn't live close by. I mean, they separated, my mother and my father. So I didn't have this male figure with me all the way. So my teachers kind of covered in for this. And I had the honor to invite my teacher, Edmilson Neri, to play with me here in the orchestra a few years ago. We played the Mahler Symphony together, and it was one of the best days of my life, having the guy who showed me how to play the instrument sitting just by my side and we doing a concert together. It's just unpayable. But another teacher did some other thing that is also very special, and I want to share that with you, which is a Montanha. He is teacher in the Universidade de São Paulo, and I was doing 1 year of lessons with him for free, kind of free. It's like $10 a month in a project in the university. And then first class came, I played. He said, yes, you can play the clarinet, but this clarinet is very bad, it's holding you. You can't go. And I said, Montanha, I don't have money to buy a new instrument. I mean, I can bring my mother here. You can talk to her, but there's no way. And he said, so bring her. Next week, I bring my mother. This is my mother, Montanha. He wants to speak with you, mother. And then he says to her, your son is very good. He can be a professional, but the instrument is very bad. And you need to buy another instrument for him. And he said, I'm going to Netherlands in a few months. Then you can try to get a loan or something, and I can bring the instrument for him. It's cheaper than you buy in a store here. And okay, she said, okay, I will do my best. And then when I get the money, I call you and everything. Okay. Few months goes by. She calls bank. She tries here. She asks there everything. She didn't get the money, man. And then she calls him and say, I don't have the money, Montaigne. I'm sorry. Thank you for the opportunity, but we will help him in another opportunity in the future. And he said, okay, next time. So he goes, he plays the concert, he comes back. He calls me. Hey, Marcos, how are you, man? I say, hey, good, Montaigne. I'm kind of sad because we missed the opportunity. And he said, yeah, your instrument is with me, so you can pick it up next week in the lesson. And I say, but I told you I don't have the money, man. Yeah, don't worry. You earn the money, you pay me back. And then it took me 3 years to pay for this clarinet. Every time I try to, and he say, no, hold a little bit. The Henry Bock is coming to play a concert, and then we just give the money to him. And then, okay. Then a few months, hey, Montaigne, I need to pay. No, they canceled the concert for Henry Bock, so wait a few more years. And then 3 years, man. That's fantastic. I mean,
really fantastic.
I don't know other people who could do this for a student, you know. So this is the role that the teachers have in my life, you know. That's it.
That's a very important role, very inspiring. And the same as Paula is talking about this inner part of yourself as an artist, you're now sharing about as a human being, as a person, someone taking care of you for everything, not only that you have your method and that you can study and you have to study, but giving you the tools.
Yeah,
it's not easy for anyone to, bring a clarinet from outside and say later, you pay me later. And that's fantastic. These people, these teachers, they really inspire us a lot. So you both are already studying. You have your new clarinet, Marcos, and Paula is decided to study. And Paula, you mentioned that you went to Germany. I would like to start with you. How was this transition? Because many young students, especially here in Latin America, they dream of going abroad to study or even to live in another country. And can you share with them how was your life, this transition? Was it easy? Was it a bit difficult? Maybe there is something you would like to let them know that they have to consider before traveling to another country.
It was not easy. It started with a dream. I met Hartmann for the first time here in Brazil in the Festival de Campos do Jordão. It's a music festival very important here in Brazil. And since then, it was 2010, I was like, wow, I want to learn more from you. But I had no idea how could I make it possible. Because actually, I didn't have money to travel for doing the exams. Could you imagine for living in Germany? It was not possible at that moment. But it started with the dream. And I like to talk about that because, of course, we have to work hard. But sometimes we also have to decide for something. And what happened with me was like that. I decided, and then I was opened, and I started to look for opportunities, all the opportunities. I tried everything. I made lots of competitions. There is an important competition here in Brazil, Prelúdio. It was also in 2010. I got to the finals, and the winner would receive a scholarship in Germany, and I was like, okay, that's my opportunity. I got the second place. I lost it, and it's okay. I will keep trying everything. And then I had a project with Stockhausen Music in 2012. I was playing for finishing my bachelor, the Little Harlequin. And then there was a scholarship from the Brazilian government for studies abroad. And then I did an application. I wrote a project. I want to study Stockhausen in Germany, and I did this project, and I did with all my energy, because I was like, I know it's difficult, but it's everything I have right now. So I will put all my energy on this. And it was amazing because I got this scholarship, and I couldn't believe that. And everything started to happen. And then at the same time of this scholarship from Brazilian government, I also applied for the AAD scholarship. It's an amazing scholarship from German government. I applied because I tried everything. You cannot believe I could list everything I did. And when I arrived in Germany, it was April 2013. When I arrived at that, I got the email that I also got the AAD scholarship. And I was like, oh my God, it's the most perfect dream. I got everything in the same time. It was perfect. And I could study in a comfortable way. I had all the assistance from since the learning of the language, because they pay the German course, they pay everything, they help you with the visa things. So it was like a dream this time in Germany. But because of those scholarships, it wouldn't be like that. But what I like to say is, if you have a dream, I don't know, I always had this dream about studying in Europe, for example, because since the beginning, I decided to work with concert music, which started in Europe. So I always had this feeling that I can work with this music. I believe I can learn and I can play this music, but I have to feel this experience. I have to feel the atmosphere. I have to feel the winter. I have to feel the spring after the winter. So that's why I had this dream about living in Europe. And everything happened. I worked hard, but I started to look for the opportunities. That's what I would like to say.
And that's part of working hard, not only playing, but also looking for the opportunities and be ready for them.
Yes.
And that's fantastic. Paula, I didn't know about the scholarships. I think you told me about one. And that's congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you deserve them. And Marcus, which are your travel experiences? What can you tell us in your experience?
Well, I studied for 1 year. I went to Boston. And when I was young, like 13, 14 years old, I always realized when I started playing concert, I realized by that time, like this, if I want to be a professional musician, I need to have some international experience at some point. So I said, I want to go. I think the easiest for me, I don't know why, but was to learn English. And again, like Paul, I didn't have money. So I said, okay, if I need to go outside and it's easy to learn English because there's English movies, English dictionary, English lessons in the basic school, which are really bad, but it's something. So I started to learn English by myself. So what I did is, by that time, there was this very unusual thing that was a chat room that people just joined and type on the computer. Most of the people doesn't know what that's anymore. But yes, I entered like American Online chat with my dictionary. And I didn't type anything, but I was reading everybody's message and trying to look, what is that? What is he saying? And if I watched a movie for the first time, I watched in Portuguese, and then I put a second time and it put it in English with no subtitles. Then I started to learn the language by the sound, and it took a lot of years and a lot of effort, but I was able to learn the English without taking any English lesson for real. Then talking about opportunities, same festival, Campos do Jordão Festival. They invited a lot of international teachers. And then I've been to this festival for 6 years. It's very hard to get one scholarship. I got it 6 times because I was trying, you know, I wanted to connect. I want to have the experience. I want to make connections. And then for the only year that I didn't go, this teacher, Jonathan Kohler, came for the first time. And I went there to play in a master class with my woodwind quintet from São Paulo. And I stepped in his class and I said, "Are you free?" And no student was playing for him. "Do you have 15 minutes? I can play Sansan Sonata for you. I'm here for 2 days." And he said, "Yeah, come on." And then I played. I liked very much the class, and I was inspired by the way he played, you know. And then next year he came as teacher, and I said, I need to go. I gotta go this year. And then I went again, but then you need to be smart. So I already saw the guy playing. I know I want to be a student of him. When I go, I have my CD with a solo piece, with a 3-4 orchestral excerpts. You give to the guy, you say, "Listen, I want to study with you. Is this CD a right to join the music school that you teach? I need a scholarship and everything." And then, okay, he was very open. He listened. He said, "Yeah, play this a little bit more faster, some stuff, and record again and just send to the university." And I did. In the wrong semester, because in America, the schools starts in August, and I was Brazilian, had no idea. Here, it starts in February. So I send everything like I want to join the school in February. Okay. So they got everything, they heard, they say, "Yes, you have a good level, but we don't have any scholarship because we save the scholarships for August. Do you mind if we just hold your application until August?" And I say, no problem. If you have everything, that's good. So that's what happened. They had 2 students from Macedonia. These 2 guys, they went back to Macedonia for Christmas on that year. And the opera orchestra and the national orchestra, the 2 most important orchestras in Macedonia, they opened auditions for clarinets. These 2 guys, they were cousins. So they played in the audition, and both of them got the jobs, one in each orchestra. So suddenly, the music school, it's in the middle of December, and they lost 2 Macedonian players, top players in the class, who would play in the orchestra for the whole semester, and suddenly they don't have 2 clarinetists. But they have the application from this one guy from Brazil. And then they said, "We need to bring this Brazilian guy. What can we do?" Okay, put the 2 scholarships from the Macedonian guys together and offer to the Brazilian guy.
That's
so middle
fantastic.
of December, they email me, "Hey, Marcos, you know, we asked you to hold to August, but is that possible for you to be here in 20 days? Because you would have a class. We give you a 95% scholarship if you can come." And I said, okay.
That's a beautiful offer.
That's how I got to America, man. And that's when I have my first English lessons for real in the Boston Conservatory. Because then they have this English as second language assistant and everything. So yeah, I mean, first you gotta decide, then you gotta pursue, but you need a little bit of lucky too.
Definitely. That's I think something Paula will agree to, right? There's always this luck spectrum that we have to rely on. But in your case, it's also a beautiful story. Just your application is early.
Makes a movie, yeah. It makes a movie, actually. Man.
It's fantastic, and congratulations, because yeah, definitely I can imagine for Paula and for you traveling, going outside, open immediately your mind and the way how you performed. Am I correct?
Yes, of course.
And what about nowadays? Then you have performed a lot. Paula, since you came back to Brazil, what have you been doing that it is really you? I'm not meaning exactly as your job, but is there any project, something that you are doing right now, or is there a concert or a couple of concerts that really are the most beautiful ones you have ever gave, that you would like to share with us?
Um, since I came back, I would say the first project, it's really me, is this Stockhausen stuff. So I did the Brazilian premiere of the Harlequin, the big work, and I did this premiere in a couple of cities already. So it's if somebody thinks about Paula, they always have something with Harlequin to say. It always happens. So I like this, but I would like to say another thing, because I participated in some festivals in those days, and what I most like to do is to make this relationship between this scenic music of Stockhausen, because they always asked me to talk about Stockhausen, but I like to take those aspects and make a relationship with our traditional repertoire, because that's what I love to talk about, because we can find characters, and we are really performers when we are on stage, and it's almost the same thing. And when we are able to find those poetic elements in the Stockhausen music, we are also able to find those elements in Mozart, of course. We just have to respect the language, the accent, I don't know, accent is German, the sotaki. So that, and I love to talk about that. But there's another thing I have to talk about, is this women movement, which is growing here in Brazil. Last year, Patricia Pires, she is a clarinetist from Cuba. She organized in Salvador the first Clarinet Women Festival, and it was very important for us. And I am really involved with those aspects in this moment too. And we are also organizing the second edition of this festival here in Brasilia in October. Because of this COVID situation, we are organizing an online version. But I think it's very important to talk about that too, because, for example, last year I went I visited the marching band where I started, and I decided to give a lesson. And when I realized that they were all girls, all the students were girls, and it's a normal situation here in Brazil. Lots of girls start to play clarinet, but something happens in the middle of the way. And of course, there are lots of reasons. We don't have to talk about all of them. We don't know all of the reasons, actually. But when we look at the professional world of the clarinet here in Brazil, the presence of the women is really small. So what happened in this middle, in this way? We don't know, and we want to discover. And the other thing we realized is what we can do with that, because in this festival in Salvador, we discovered that there are a lot of women making amazing works in this country, but we don't know them because they are not in this professional world of the clarinet. And if you, Marco, you have to invite some musician for a job, you are going to think about the people you are seeing in the internet, in the festivals. And if you don't see the girls, the women, you are not going to invite them. So the thing is going to keep the same. So what can we do about that? We can show them up. So that's what we are trying to do at this moment.
That's fantastic, and you're right. There are amazing women doing amazing things, and we need to discover them. They need to be exposed more to show how amazing they are. And actually, that's a topic that Clariperu is taking seriously in the last years. That was one of the reasons why you were here. Actually, when you were here in February, all our guests were only women, and that's something very important to talk about. Actually, we should get together with only women to talk online about that, don't you think?
Yes, it
We
would be
will arrange.
amazing.
We will arrange that with Clariperu, and we will speak Portuñol.
Perfect.
Bueno.
We can invite Patricia because she's from Cuba, so she can speak in Castellano.
Well, I'm saying it live. We will organize it just to discuss this important topic, and we will do that. We will do that. And Marcus, are you still there?
Man.
Tell me.
Yeah, so after I came back, then it's what I was like studying for. So I got this very important job in this very important orchestra, which is what I love to do. I love to play concerts with orchestra. I love this repertoire. This is just the place where I want to be, you know? And then I'm living all the consequences of it. So I can get like brands that sponsors me. I can be invited to other countries to perform and to give lessons and everything. Like I went to this gorgeous country named Peru. I went to Mexico, went to Serbia, China 5 times. So
Thailand. You've been in Thailand.
Hey, Amy, I see you. Yes. So yeah, I mean, this is just like a dream coming true. And what I also like to do is trying different kind of music outside of my comfort zone, you know? But I don't go like Paula that goes to this contemporary Stockhausen. I like show music. I go a little bit for jazz, these kind of things that Jewish music that is really, really fun for me to do as an outside job. It's nothing serious, you know? But this stuff gave me the beautiful opportunity that I keep here in my heart, which was playing side by side with a guy named Eddie Daniels. He came here to perform a concert. He did his thing. He started to improvise. He played a Tom Jobim song. So I said, I know this one. And he said, anybody wants to improvise? I just got up, man, and we just played together. So it was very, very, it was an honor, you know? So that's it. I mean, I keep my job, which is what I love. And then I have this side project of playing different kind of music, which I think as like a funny thing, but it's becoming more and more serious every day. It's like that.
Fantastic. And I think both of you, I'm pretty sure I'm on the right track here, are very versatile because I've seen you, Marco, playing this, what we call serious music, you know, but also you play this jazz, popular music. I remember when you were soloist here with the big band in Peru, and each of you had to make a solo. It was amazing. And Paula, also, when you were here in Lima, you played with the string quartet, and it was Brazilian music. I think you both enjoy this duality. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
And do you think that's important for a musician to be able to switch from classical music and what we call classical music, not only the main repertoire, but all music, contemporary music, but also play popular music, be able to improvise? Do you think that's something that musicians from the 21st century should be able to do?
Yes, for sure. Because I believe that when we try different languages, different kinds of making music, we get new tools for being more flexible, for being more creative, and you also learn ways of being creative and find different personalities in a music respecting that language. So I think it's very important to learn different languages and practice them. It's really, really important.
Yes, I mean, for me, it's all music, you know? The more you know, the better musician you are. There's no wrong music and right music or anything. For me, it's like we are like a painter, un pintor, you know? And then when you sit in the orchestra, you have the frame, you have the figure, like the symphony, it's a house, it's a animal or something. But the colors, man, the colors up to you. And the more you know from whatever style or whatever music or whatever instrument, or I sing or whatever I do, I dance, or doesn't really matter, or I read, so I have a lot of fantasy here, whatever. It's all colors. And the degrees of the colors, if it's more dark or more white or more yellow, whatever, that's up to you. And you gotta, it's like Paula said, you gotta have the tools. Otherwise, it's just black and white, and it's boring, man.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree with both of you. And I will speak in Spanish now, because quisiera invitarlos a todos los que nos están escuchando ahora en vivo y que van a ver el video después en YouTube. Hemos dejado en la descripción de este video las cuentas de Instagram de estos dos grandes maestros. Síganlos ahora mismo, a una ventana aparte, y vean, cliquen ahí el link directo y escúchenlos. Paula y Marcus tienen muchos videos donde están tocando, haciendo otros proyectos. A Marcus lo van a escuchar hasta cantando. Marcus, you like singing too? I've seen some videos. So
Yes,
you can see these both amazing musicians performing, and their Instagrams accounts are in the link below this video. So my friends, we are at the end of this interview. Is there something you would like to say to the new generations, to young people in Latin America? They are starting playing the clarinet or maybe another instrument. So far, what you have learned in your life, what will you tell them?
I would say enjoy your life, dream, and enjoy the sun, your friends, and bring it to your music, because it's very important. Maybe sometimes when we start to play, we think it's everything about staccato and the tongue and those stuff. It's also very, very important. Go for those stuff too. But you also have to dream. You have to be creative. Otherwise, your music is going to be in way poor. Is going to be not honest. You're not able to communicate, to convince the others. And the most important, be honest to your feelings. If you are not sure about the darkness you want in this music, go for it. Practice this darkness. Don't make a face of darkness and believe that you are doing that. Practice that, rehearse that, because we also have to rehearse our solo music. It's not all about knowing the notes and playing. That would be my advice.
Fantastic. Sé sincero contigo mismo, dice la maestra Paula, entre otras palabras que ha mencionado bellísimas. And Marcus.
Well, this is a hard moment. I have so much things to tell. First, if you really love music, I need to tell you something. You probably won't be very, very rich, but you're going to be very happy. So go for the happiness. Don't go for the money. If you want the money, change your profession to something else. If you really love music, please don't give up. We sometimes find, a lot of times, we find the door closed for us. And then we need to find the second door or another option. But please find the other option. Don't just give up because it didn't work the way you planned before. What else? Please don't think too much about clarinet. Clarinet is not everything. Music is everything. You're an artist. Just clarinet is just an instrument. It's called a musical instrument because you use that to make the music. So please don't invert. Clarinet is a second thing. Music is the first. Please study music theory, harmony, everything, the scales, arpeggios. You need to know that. This is important. It's like walk. You need to know how to walk if you want to go from here to another point. So you need to have that. And after you dominate that, please enjoy the music you play. Don't be afraid, People will tell bad things doesn't matter the way you play, man. The people tell bad things about Wenzel Fuchs, Martin Frost, these gods of clarinet and music, you know? So this is not the important thing. The important thing is just if you really do what you practice, you did your best, and you put your heart, then you're gonna be happy, and I'm sure somebody else in the audience is gonna be happy too. So that's mission accomplished.
Oh, Paula and Marcus, what a beautiful moment and interview with the two of you. Thank you so much for this moment. I will switch to Spanish. Estoy seguro que han entendido cada una de las palabras y los consejos de estos dos grandes maestros que desde Brasil se conectan en vivo con nosotros. Y a nombre de todo el equipo de Clariperú, les agradezco primero a ustedes por estar aquí conectados con nosotros, por sus amables mensajes y palabras de aliento. And Marcus, Paula, on behalf of all the team, Clariperu's team, I thank you both for this beautiful time, for sharing who you are. It's really inspiring to hear you speaking about music, art, and clarinet too, you know. And I appreciate that it is beautiful. It's really beautiful because I do believe that that's the correct or the right way to go. Think about art, music, beauty. And well, the clarinet or the flute or the fagot is just an instrument. Thank you so much. I don't know if you want to say some last words to to end this interview.
No, apenas tchau. Goodbye. Thank you for being here with us in this afternoon. It was a big, big pleasure.
Que ha sido un placer estar aquí con ustedes esta tarde y que pronto esa cosa toda se vaya a pasar y nos vemos juntos en Perú, ¿eh?
Exacto. Yes, you should come back both to Peru. I'm very happy that you did come to Peru. And Paula was the last one to be here with us. And you're always welcome. You're both amazing artists. And I'm very, very happy to have met you and that you're part of our international team with Clariperu. So thank you so much, Paula and Marcus, and we will keep in touch. We go on with our project con el Coro Iberoamericano de Clarinetistas. Con todos ustedes nos despedimos hasta el día de mañana que vamos a estar con la maestra Lara Díaz. So, thank you, Paula and Marcus. See you. Nos vemos.
See you.